Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. What will you start?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, so we'll start with how a mining report is prepared and on what basis and all other things.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just that one. Okay, so I'll just give you like just like the preparation DPR report, I'll give you the list of what and all we have and what and all how it is done and everything. So as far as the Indian Bureau of Mining or Tamil Nadu Geological Department is concerned, they need two things. One is they need the lease agreement. And they want the volumetric report from the agency. They already have volumetric report, which is what they'll do is when volume has been excavated or through a truck or something, they'll have one weighting machine. Okay, the hydraulic weight machine which they use or air suspension machine. So they'll put the lorry or the truck into it and they'll take the entire weight of it and based on the stone, they'll calculate one particular volume they have. So these two documents is must when you are going for a geological IBM surveys. Okay. So as per IBM survey, it is mandatory to for every vendor or anyone who's having a mines area to have two surveys per year. One is while starting of the financial year, which is March, and the next one is while ending, that is on February. So in this course duration of time, if the lease is ending, the person might be willing to extend the lease, or there might be a new tender. So these 2 months only you are supposed to take your mining data. That is March of this year, for example, I'll tell 2025 and February of 2026. You will have your contract like this. You need your data to be taken on two different times. So this will be considered as a base report for next area. For this March 2025, you will have one February 2025 report as a base map. Okay. So this is said to be a base map which you will take while starting the lease, and when you are finishing the lease, it will be an ending report. So all these should comply under the terms and conditions of the Indian Bureau of Mining or the agency, whatever it is taken. And there is one particular standard format which is your report should have. First one will be your lease agreement. So here you will have the lease agreement, terms and condition, whatever is stated by the government, from which duration to which duration, who is the agency, all these things. The second one will be your qualified person whom you are having. So that report, like the accreditation, you have to submit. Which is, for example, if they are putting me in charge of one site, they need my degree certificate and all other things. It should be notary publicly verified and all other things. And they have to attest it that he is a qualified person to run all these operations and he is liable to it. So there's a non-disclosure, all other things you want. The next one, what you want is your lease boundary, where you might have multiple coordinates, 4 coordinates, 5 coordinates, whatever it is, as per KML or whatever, they will have a boundary pillar actually. So this boundary pillar will be of minimum 3 feet height as per standards and should be marked in yellow. So this is the standard boundary pillar where you will have this lease boundary. Wherever there is a change of line or point, you will have one pillar which is minimum 3 feet above the ground and it should be fully painted with yellow color. So that you have to check and you have to take BGPS reading of it. Okay. So the next one, what you want is your cadastral map topo sheet, whatever you have as a base record. This should be obtained from the government department. They'll have a existing topo sheet or existing base map or 2D FMB sketch, whatever they have on this particular area, you need it for verification. And this should also be attached with it. So the next one you have to put is your survey, which is, you have to have two different surveys. One is your topographical survey, and next one is the geophysical survey. Here, your topographical survey means you will have your elevation, GSM, DTM, and contour. So, in your this is geophysical survey. And your geophysical survey means you need to know soil properties, water, groundwater level, and etc. So this comes in geophysical survey. So these two surveys you have to carry out. So our drone comes in this category where you are carrying out topographical survey. And when you go for geophysical survey, you will have sonar or DPR, GPR instrument, ground penetration radar instruments. So here there are multiple options. Like if you're giving it for another tender or something, you want to have the actual height of excavation, and you want to have the volume and the infrastructure. So these are the three conditions that one should satisfy while floating a tender or whatever it is. Okay. And if you're the person taking the tender, so after that you have to proceed with geophysical survey to know what is the return of investment, ROI, which is the return of investment and profit from that particular site what you are taking. No agency or the government will disclose the values of geophysical survey unless and until you are quoting for the tender to take up of it. So they'll basically have your topographical survey, which is having elevation, DSM, DTM contour, which is taken by drone, in which you will have only details like height of excavation, total volume that is already excavated, and infrastructure present in field like crusheries, movers, whatever it is, and your lease agreement, which will have what is the future height you can actually excavate and what is the total volume you can take. So these things are conditions that you have to carry out while excavating this project. Okay, here we have multiple output, like these are all types of survey in the format which you use. So in this type, like 5 and 6, these two are the main survey field. Here you will have various outputs like you will have volumetric analysis, you will have soil properties, you have geology properties, you have water, maybe if water is filled out, you will have water depth, and you will have environmental ground level and pollution level. So these are all type of output which you can provide them with any type of survey that mainly consists of a mining area. In this volumetric analysis, you will be calculating the height and the volume which is being excavated or which is going to be excavated. This is the normal survey what everyone carry out. But the soil properties is what you go into geotechnical survey. So here you will have what is the type of soil, you will have the soil profile, on what height, what are all the type of soil, what is the type of rock it is there, what is its properties and where you can sell it and what price. That and all comes in the soil properties, geotechnical surveys. And next one is your geological properties. That is when you are ready to create or manufacture or process like the quantity. For example, if you are doing geotechnical survey, you'll only know where this is needed. Whereas if you're going for a geological survey, they'll give you a code that this is needed in these locations And once we are able to process it like this, we'll be able to deliver it to a client. For example, if we are going for aggregates, you can do it, or if you are going for any marbles or granite like that manufacturing unit, your geological survey is actually required rather than your geotechnical survey. This is when you are ready to directly make the delivery rather than putting it into a tie-up. Next one is your water level and hydrological survey. This helps in identifying what type of rock it is, and there are certain type of rock which has water in it and which has highly available only in water-prone zones and all other things. So here they you have effect towards your groundwater level also, because the more explosives and all other things you use in that geological area, the more it gets contaminated towards your ground level, and there are possibilities in some locations where your groundwater level might deplete or increase also based on what you are doing. So this hydrological survey is must, and it should be taken from any one hydrological survey department or from any one biotechnical labs who will certify the water level is all normal and all the things. The next one is your environmental survey. So here, what they will do, this is done by environmentalist or the person who have done their botany or something regarding forest plantation and all other things. Here, what they'll do is they'll calculate the total area which is getting damaged. For example, if you're having 1 acre of mining area, what is like there are continuous explosions, you have dusting issues and all of the things. So though they'll assess the total environment that is all getting degraded due to this mining area. So there they'll do a case study like it will take 6 months, 8 months, sometimes even a year, because they have to connect with the local people. They want to know their plus and minus, what is the environmental impact. This is all done from man-to-man basis. So they don't rely on field, they rely on man-to-man basis and the location of everything. The next one is your ground level and silt level and pollution level. These two surveys coincide with one another. So this is all done in order to maintain a law and order issues, like the police conditions. One is there are conditions like there should not be a certain amount of silt collection. Like for example, in mining areas, you might see that there will be more like height differences. That is due to the soil which they are excavating. They'll dump it in one side while taking it out. They'll take only 70 to 80%. The remaining they will spread it out, make it even. And sometimes when this crusheries is all running, you will have continuous dust getting out of it, and which will get settled in the soil, so which you will have difference in soil height. So all these things. And when you're using crusheries and all other things, the sand particles actually go into leaf. So there are some options like leaf pores will be blocked out so that the plant and tree might die at the earliest without proper oxygen. And so they are mandatory to, they have to wash the leaves once in 2 months, 3 months, or once in a month. They have to clean everything. They have to pour water over it so to clean the dust and all other things. So these things are monitored from ground level and pollution level surveys. So these are all the main type of surveys that one area actually consists of. And when it is voice on,
What's the role of
what one? Your voice is breaking.
the role? My voice is clear.
Yeah, now it is clear now.
Okay. What's the role of drone in such type of survey?
For water you're asking.
Actually, I am asking what's the role of drone?
Drone.
Yes.
Drone will go into topographical survey alone, ma'am. So mostly these surveys are all into geophysical surveys. Whereas the main output of drone in minings and geology department is topographical survey. That is what I am coming to tell now. So in this
Okay.
volumetric analysis, there are multiple perspectives of it, which is drone is considered. Okay, which is they'll have what is the cut volume. They'll have what is the filling volume, which means cut volume means what is the total quantity which is being excavated, and filling volume is in order to close that pit or where what is the filling level of it. For example, if they are excavating from one point, dumping it in another point, your cut volume should be equal to your filling volume. If there is a difference in it, that means there is a loss of what your excavation. And this cut volume is also calculated in order to check out the least quantity which the person is entitled to excavate. And they have two different locations in every quarry, which is, you will have excavation site and you will have your dumping site. These two sites are mandatory in all quarry areas in order to calculate cutting and filling volume. So this excavation site will be only operated and this filling volume will be calculated from. Everything will be done with reference to ground level. That is what is the existing ground level from TEM or from Survey of India and how much height they have excavated, what is the soil profile, and based on that, what will be the quantity of soil waste, whatever they are getting. And when the dumping site, they have to split each and everything. For example, they have to split the rocks, they'll put soil, they'll put waste, dumpings, all the things. And the volume of all these things will be taken with reference to the existing ground level and will be calculated.
And
So that
how we can find out the excavation volume and dumping volume? With
that
the
is
help
all
of drone
calculated.
survey, can we find out satellite
Yes,
imagery or what?
no, with the help of drone survey, we can find out. We have calculated volume from Pix4D, right?
Okay.
The more ground control point you have, the more accurate point you have towards your excavation volume, cutting volume. The same is with the filling volume also, because these software values cannot be tampered with.
Okay.
So that is why they require outputs like they need our 3D map when you are delivering. They need our report. So they need our volume report, they need our 2D ortho, they need our DSM, they need our DTM and contour. So our report consists of all these data, but then also we are supposed to deliver all these data, 3D mesh, 2D ortho, DSM, DTM and contour. So that they will verify it for their self that whether this volume is correct. Even if they are tampering with the
Just
report, you can't get
what you
tampered
have
with the yes,
written,
sir?
3D
Mesh,
first mesh. What is mesh?
MESS. Ma'am, our 3D image what we are getting is said to be a 3D mesh.
Okay, okay.
So it is like 1 minute new project. Our 3D mesh is something that is created actually. 1 for volume. So this is a 3D mesh actually, which is generated from point load and DSM. So this is a format of a 3D mesh. It will be in 3D format rather than 2D format. So this report and this image output they want. So that when we are not we are if they feel like we are tampering, see for example I'll tell you. So see I'll be calculating volume for this site for example if this is a mining site and I'll give them calculate. It will give me my terrain 3D area, my cut volume, fill volume and total volume of it. Okay. And if they feel like they have a doubt regarding anything, they'll directly put this report into their software and calculate and check whether our 3D volumetric output and their 3D volumetric output is correct. And that is why they need the boundary pillars because they have to exactly identify the boundary in which we have calculated. Okay. So this is all we are submitting. And their infrastructure, whatever it is they have, will be calculated from 2D ortho. What is the infrastructure they have and everything will be from 2D ortho. What is the total extent, road facility, whatever it is from that. DSM, DTM, contour, and 3D mesh is only used for volumetric analysis from softwares. So actually, your net volume, that is your overall volume taken, will be equal to your cut volume plus your fill volume. Sorry, cut volume plus your fill volume. So this will be the total volume which you will be given. And as far the software is concerned, you will have a plus or minus value. That should not be more than 100%, like 10% of the total volume. So here it is approximately some 12.5% because we didn't take it for mining area. So there are permissible limits like 5M will have 10% error. because this is not a manual calculation, this is a systematic calculation. So IBM standard is you have to have your volumetric error less than 10% from what we are giving and from what the client is giving from their volumetric report, which they have obtained from weighting the truck and loads. So this difference should not be more than 10%. And all these things will be with, like for example, your boundary will have, it will be in coordinate system. Your volume will be in cubic meters only. You cannot present in any other things unless and until only cubic meters you have to present. And height should be mentioned only in meters. And the dump also, the volume, whatever it is, will be in cubic meters. So you should not follow any other metric system other than meters, cubic meters, and coordinate that too in lat long format only, not in UTM. So this is a standardized format what you will be providing them with all data and our outputs. Okay. So these are all this type of this is how you have to prepare your geological survey report, and these are all the types of survey that you can do. And there are so much other things when you go for geophysical survey, like there are so much other things which is used by geology department and all other things, and which is also used in every mining area and all other things. So geophysical survey is now only, I think it is starting in India, where it is having very vast thing. And there are some agencies in India who consist of geophysical survey along with the drone. So these type of geophysical surveys have two equipment, which is sonar, you will have LiDAR, and you will have GPR. And which sonar is for underwater survey, which is to calculate the silt volume, whatever it is collected under dam and water bodies. LiDAR is for ground level, because LiDAR stops at the ground level, GPR is underground. So sonar can go up to a depth of somewhere around 1,000 meters. So this is a sonar survey from the point. So if there is a emitter, it can travel up to 1,000 meters and come back to its receiver. If it is LiDAR, that is 4,500 meters based on the intensity of the LiDAR equipment. Because this will be only above the ground, you will not have any disturbance other than your atmospheric pressure. Whereas your GPR is equipped, you can take till 30 to 300 meters. So these are the three type of geophysical equipment which is used, out of which sonar is operated from a drone. And like for LiDAR, drone or sonar is operated from a ship or a remotely piloted ship, which is also considered to be a drone. And your GPR is mounted on a car or a human. Okay, so sonar, there are multiple toy like ships which can float in water, which has the sonar equipment with it, which is done surveying in all these dam areas and wherever it is to find out what is the total silt collection over a period of 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever it is. And they'll calculate and give you on what location is the silt collected and what is the volume of silt collection and all other that is. LiDAR equipment is only done to identify feature which is above the ground level, and that too it can have up to a height of 4,500 meters, which is 45 kilometers. So more than that, you will not be able to fly a LiDAR equipment. And if you are able to fly it, then you need a very better emitter and a reflector, which can only be mounted on aeroplanes with a very large of battery capacity. This is what, but generally they're using for mines and surveys. And you have GPR, which is ground penetration radar system, which is just like your LiDAR equipment, but which is having a very good intensity of light emitters and connectors, which can travel from 30 meters to 300 meters depth under the ground level. Mostly these equipments are only used for geophysical survey, not for regular drone survey and all other things. And all these things can be mounted in a drone also. There are possibilities, like I have seen one company was mounting sonar over a drone and flying the drone on the water level so that to get these readings in order to cut the cost of the boat or something what they are purchasing. LiDAR is generally you will have it with the drone. GPR equipment is almost like one GPR equipment will cost you somewhere around 70 to 80 lakhs one equipment alone, which can be sometimes mounted in a car or the lightweighted equipment which should be carried by one person throughout the stretch. Since in some areas, cars will not be accessible. A person should carry it on their shoulder. So they have to walk the entire stretch, and there are properties like width and all other it is. So just like our LiDAR or sonar equipment, GPR also need a proper gridding pattern. Like we have to design a walking grid or the vehicle grid so that our equipment travels to that and gets the data for it. So as far as geophysical survey is concerned with IBM, that consists of a geological report. They have prospect and what are the financials which can be expected. They have review of mining, soil tech, whatever it is, and they need a G2 and G1 level exploration reports. So commonly accepted is they have subsurface layering or seismic report which can be taken from GPR. They'll do regular LiDAR surveys and all other things, and GPRs and those things. There is no company that is having all these three equipments together. And mainly, as far as the geophysical survey is concerned, IBM is approved only few prospects, like few methodologies which they can rely on. So you can't conduct every type of geophysical survey if you're going for working for IBM and all. It is like you have a particular set of particular procedures of survey alone which can be kept out. So there are some softwares like Bentley who will process owner and repair equipments, just like our image processing, which is Pix4D we are using for photos. There are image processing tools like Bentley MicroStation and all other things, and there is a tool for DJI also. Where no DJ Matrix series is having a LiDAR payload. They have their own processing software which combines all the LiDAR output and gives you a proper full file. Just like your image, it will give you a LiDAR details of a full stretch what you are doing. It will do an internal processing using cloud and give you that. Other than this, there is not much for a geological survey or anything. If you have any specific doubts regarding how to do it or what to do it, I'll explain them. Mamta ma'am, hello. Mamta ma'am,
Yes.
hello. Yes, ma'am. Do you
Am
have
I
any
audible?
doubts?
Am I
Yeah,
audible?
you're audible. Yeah, yes, ma'am, you're audible. Do you have any doubts specifically on these topics?
No, no,
Because I
everything is
think
clear.
this is, yeah, overall of what is geological survey and all other things. So this is how your Indian Bureau of Mining is working. And in order to register it with them, you need some financial criterias and some technicality criterias like you should have a senior engineer from geology or geotechnical background who should have minimum 8 to 10 years. And you need an environmentalist, you need a geologist, and you need a soil testing lab and a geotechnical lab for having an IBM standard vendor. And you should
Okay.
have at least executed 5 to 8 mining contracts from IBM or
Okay.
any one government agency, which should have a worth of minimum 1 crore. So your yearly turnover should be from 1 to 5 crores of minimum so that they'll approve you as a vendor for them.
And
Because this
what's
is
the procedure for vendor registration?
every year during the financial year starting, that is from March, April, and May, they'll float a tender for vendor acceptance letter. Like they'll float a application for submitting for vendor, where they'll give
Which
you
website?
multiple annexes from the IBM mining surveys itself, and there is e-procurement survey for e-procurement website. Yeah, I'll
Okay,
show you
okay.
that. There are multiple options. This is one website. See, this is where all your central government and public procedure tenders comes in.
Yeah, yeah.
Here you can have a login, you can check for tenders which is floating towards vendor registration. And there's a government website also as an option of notification regarding. as per this Government of India, Ministry of Mines, Indian Bureau of Mining, you will have a different tender which is floating every year from the respective department to accept vendorship. So that also you have to have a look over it. Like it will be floated on the starting of the financial year and it will be finished with the ending of the financial year. So now since March is coming, you might have starting it from last or March, they'll open the applications for vendorship. You can apply to it and you can go for the bidding and all other things and you can take out the tenders. Once you are selected as a vendor, it will be like they'll be allotting it to you on zone wise. So if you are allotting to a zone or a district, every mining procedures done under that zone will be only done by that particular region. For example, if you're working for a concern, they are getting allotted to Bangalore, then every mines on the Bangalore zone, what they have, will be allotted only to that concern. Each and every concern is recruited based on zone basis only, not on overall basis. So, for example, if I am getting selected for Tamil Nadu, all the mines of IBM will be only awarded to me on their fixed price. It is not like you can demand a pricing. They have a particular workout format where they will fix the pricing for each and every type of work. And once that price is comfortable for you, you can get empaneled and you can start it with their work. And while floating tender also, they'll float the price which they worked out last year. So this year they know what will be the market inflammation and all other things, and you can quote your price and they'll work out their own price. So based on that, they'll negotiate with the pricing, and that contract will be sometimes for a year and sometimes for 4 to 5 years. And you cannot be a vendor more than 4 to 5 years in IBM, since as the government changes, the entire tenders and everything get reshuffled. So you have to again get empaneled. It is not like since you are previously empaneled, you can empanel. No, every year or every notice period of time, you have to get again and again approval from them that you are an empaneled agency. This is like an accreditation certificate which they will give you, which has a limited validity period. And once that validity period is about to end, you have to apply to them once again before the ending of validity and get it clarified from them. And they'll put one person from your firm or office as an authorized person to sign all these reports.
Okay.
So based on that only, you can take all these reports. So all data and everything, tenders will be floated from here only. Here you can tender float by organization or from department where you can take out Indian Bureau of Mines. You have All Indian Institute of Technical Council, whatever it is. So that maybe this is works department or a service department. So here you want to identify where mines come, machinery, power, mechanical, medicine, metal. We have to select the exact concern or whatever it is. For example, I'm putting marine services and I have to search it so that now I'll get Indian Bureau of Mining into it and we can take out tenders and all other from this. So it is based on this website. All the central government agencies, there are total 247 central government agencies who is floating tender through this website. This is the official government website where non-governmental agencies can take out government projects and work it out. Previously, it was like they'll put a tender in the notice board of the department and other things. Now all this is stopped only through this website. They are floating every tender and all other things. So as far as this website is concerned, you have to check for active tenders and all other things. You have to know from which department it is, on what date it starts, and what is the closing date. You have some basic advertisements which is posted from mining department on newspapers regularly for these tenders and biddings. So based on that only, you have to work with the government agency. Yeah, that's so. Do you have any other doubts?
No, no, that's okay. Please open Excel sheet.
What one?
Excel sheet.
No, your voice is breaking actually.
Now, am I audible? Excel sheet.
Yeah,
Open Excel sheet.
yeah, this is Excel sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, to assign any project for this 3D, 2D or DSM, DTM.
So these are all standard outputs which you need, which is, you need this DSM, DTM, contour, 2D ortho, and 3D mesh.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
far as you get into volumetric analysis or mining department, these are all standard output which they want.
No, actually, I can do any projects
Okay.
and do practice on hands-on practice on software.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, I'll give you that. I think I've given you some mining data also. If you want, I'll share it once again. And
Yeah.
our software has one option like while doing processing itself. Yeah, here you have additional outputs like you have contour here, you have DTM here, gridding system, and all other things. So when you are going into say like contour, there is one additional option like what is the baseline. Like what is the baseline is that from where what is the lowest degree, how you should expect it to start it. That is
Can
three
you show
zero
from
meter.
starting first how to use images, clone
How
images,
to
clone
yeah
images to
you
convert it to ortho?
yeah initially you will do initial processing and point cloud. Once this is done only, you will go into see here our 3D data will be generated. You have to generate 3D mesh with a high resolution, and your exporting format should be OBJ and DXF. These two are the standard formats from point cloud. So after this only with this 3D mesh we have to create our own survey data. Basically for regular 2D survey and all, we will not create 3D mesh. Only for mining department surveys we you create this 3D mesh and point cloud, and your quality of point cloud should all once you're going for mining department, your initial processing should be full and your point cloud quality should be high and everything should be more because you have high point density, you need more number of matches, and you have to classify your point cloud to improve your DTM generation, and your output format should be LES and LAZ. So this is a standard template when you're going for mining department because your quality should not be compromised because 10% is a very low percentage when you are considering it into mining area, and your 3D mesh should be of very high quality and should be exported in DXF and OBJ format. After which, once this is all done, you will go to DSM and ortho. So here you go to custom, that is based on government. It may be 1 centimeter per pixel or 1.5 centimeter. Minimum you need 1 centimeter, and your surface should be sharp. You can use
What's
triangulation
the
or
meaning
ID.
of 1 centimeter per pixel?
It means like when you're zooming in an image, for example, see, this, I think my screen is so when you're zooming into this image, this is 1 pixel, okay? So the distance should be 1 centimeter. I'm doing it here. You can see the length is 0.010485 unknown units. This should be 0.001 meter, which means 1 centimeter. So height of this pixel and length of this pixel should be 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter. Okay. So this you have to determine. And here you can use any format to determine DSM for triangulation or IDW, whereas triangulation is the most better way to get very good accuracy. And here you want to go into additional outputs. You don't want your grid DSM your raster D to export your D, and it's the same. Your raster DTM should be 1 centimeter or something. Sorry. Your raster DTM consists of like you have minimum 5 centimeter. That is the sum. That is 1:5 ratio, where your horizontal error and your vertical error is having a ratio of 1:3 or 1:5. That is how your error value is calculated. For example, if you have a horizontal error of 1 centimeter, your vertical error will be of 3 centimeter to 5 centimeter. So that is the maximum permissible limit. When your horizontal error is more than 3 or 5 centimeter, then your data is wrong. It's like 1:3 and 1:5 in error proportion. Your data should not go more than that. So I'm creating a DSM and I have created a contour line. So here this is the lowest point. If you know, if you have taken data in the lowest point, you can put that height level, for example, 200 meter or 300 meter, and your elevation should be once in every 1 meter. This is the mining standard. Then your resolution should be 100 centimeters. This is all you don't need to check. Minimum line size that it is, you put it as even 1000 itself, it is not an issue. Because the more vertices you have, the more smooth your contour will be. The less vertices you have, the less rigid your contour will be. So it will be like the more point, more smooth, the less point. If you are having more points, it will be like this smooth. The less points you have, it will be like this. So there is a difference between these two. The more vertices you have, the more smooth it will be. The less vertices you have, the less smooth it will be. So you can give it like this. And this index calculator is if you are having any errors on image, like some saturation error or whatever, this is you don't need to charge. So these additional outputs will also be exported. So here you see if I'm giving OK, normally it will be only 6 outputs. Now it is having 2 outputs extra, which is one I have contour, the one I have decay. So once this is generated only, see there is the object file which is there which will be generated, and based on that only you can calculate or the values everything you want. So this is the standard output and standard procedure to do volumetric analysis for mining, whatever it is. Not just for mining, any area which you are used to take volumetric analysis. And as far as volumetric analysis is concerned, the more number of ground control point you take, the more accuracy of volume you have. This is not like your regular 2D survey where it is only mandatory to have at least 5 points per square kilometer. Here, you can even have 10 points for one particular mining site also. The more points you have, the more better accuracy you have. Whereas in your 2D survey, since there will not be so much volume or elevational issues, you will be following it to the minimum 5 points. Do you have any other doubts, ma'am?
No. Actually, I think I need to do practice.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Then I will share you sample data by today. We can try
Yeah.
it out with the sample data also.
Yeah.
And from Monday, we'll start with the doubt clarification session because on a Monday, I'll be starting with checking. I have to inform the I have informed the user also to process the drone image. So you
Yeah.
also do it. That I'll give you one for geology department and other things. And you start processing the data. And if you have any doubts in between, just put a screenshot in the group so that now I can connect and clarify the doubts.
Okay.
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 Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. And I'll share one report also. I'm expecting a geological report for mines. If I get a
Okay.
hold of it, I'll share it also. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And assign any projects.
Okay.
And for assign any projects.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I'm not able to get you.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm not able to get you. Can you just speak a little bit louder?
Actually, I'm saying please assign any projects and that I can do complete projects. Like I can create 3D mesh reports, 2D ortho, DSM, DTM
Yeah, that is
for
what
any
I'll give you one
project.
scope of work today, and I'll give you the data for it. You prepare it in
Okay.
likewise.
Find out volumetric.
Yeah, like that only. I'll give you a
Yeah.
proper scope of work, how a tender or something is plotted with all
Yeah.
required conditions, and I'll give you
Yeah.
the sample data so that you can work like that itself. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Yes. Ma'am. Okay. Thanks.
Now class is over.
Yeah, I think so. Today, that's all we can discuss on board, which is
Yes.
mining
Yes.
areas.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.